Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue News. Dallas takes a further look into the lives and careers of telecommunicators, and Bridget finds out more about what life is like with a child diagnosed with autism. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Good morning, Bulldogs. I'm Kayron Forbes, here with Joseph McLaughlin. Welcome back to Code Blue News.
To start off, we would like to recognize today as being the National Day of Silence in support of the LGBTQ+ community, which represents the silence many of those within the community have. Many will be silent, so please be respectful of those who are participating.
Today is also the last day to buy a prom ticket. Please see Ms. F if you have any questions. Remember, class dues must be paid in full to purchase a ticket. If you would like to bring a guest from another school to prom, please see Ms. F or Ms. Gagan for a permission slip.
You may have noticed some of our students are out of school. While our robotics team, the Bazaar Bots, qualified for their regionals for the first time in the history of their program. Yesterday, our team went out to Springfield for the competition, and Vincent has a quick message for everyone.
All right, guys, we made it to comp. This is our second day after a successful first day. There's about 80 teams here. It's a lot bigger than the competitions that we're used to.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, wish us luck in the next 3 days. Yeah, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Vincent. If you want to watch the competition on your own, we will be posting the links in our Instagram bio. It is streaming on Twitch. For other club news, the Social Justice Club meets after school in Mrs. McNeese's room. All are welcome. And Jazz Band will be meeting from 2:20 to 3:20 today.
Also, middle schoolers, do you need help getting your homework done or help studying on an upcoming test? Maybe you need help revising an essay. Come to C132 on Thursday from 2:15 to 3:15 for tutoring and mentoring from a high schooler.
Moving on to sports news, we start with softball. The softball team beat Dennis Yarmouth 11-3. Sophomore Taylor Dolan was the winning pitcher in this non-league victory. She was also recently named the Boston Globe Player of the Week, so a very special congratulations to her. She led the way at the plate for the Bulldogs, belting 3 home runs and driving in 5 runs.
Senior Holly Davis went 2 for 3 single and triple, scoring 1 run and driving in 1 run. Junior Taylor DeBona went 2 for 3 single and double, driving in 2 runs and scoring 1. 8th grader Allie Johnson also went 2 for 3 with 1 scored, and 7th grader Kylie Dolan went 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, and also had great days at the plate.
The girls also took an 18-0 victory over Avon, 11 different players scoring. Homers by juniors Mary Walker and Alyssa Slamman, and junior Taylor DeBona with 16 strikeouts in the 5-inning game.
Also for track, the team had a meet on Monday, and here are the results. The girls' team beat Atlanta Charter 97-26, and the boys' team lost 46-61. Against Bishop Conley, the girls won 98-5, and the boys lost 66-47.
This week is also the National Telecommunicators Week, a week to recognize the unsung efforts of those on the other end of 911 calls. Today we share the story Dallas and Nick created to highlight the lives of our own telecommunicators and what they are doing to celebrate.
I'm currently standing in the recent addition to the Public Safety Building of Holbrook, where every day telecommunicators respond to numerous 911 calls. This week marks the start of National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. We at Code Blue News would like to share more about telecommunicators and what goes on behind each call.
We have about 44 911 professionals. These folks are highly trained professionals.
Last year being in here, and as the center has grown, we just can't have you come in off the street and sit down. You have to be trained.
Definitely see the world differently. Because of my training, I may go to a store and know if somebody's having a medical emergency right away before even they do.
I've been doing this job for almost 20 years. In a way, you become callous to it, or you have a lot of sense of humor. Kind of sick sense of humor, but it's a way to get through it.
There's a lot of difficult parts, but I think that sometimes the most difficult is keeping your emotions out of it. I don't think that a lot of people know that we feel exactly everything that you're saying to us on the phone. At the end of that call, we feel it.
You have to have the ability to leave what has happened at the table. And what I mean by that is we'll get 911 calls that something's happened. We'll send our responders out. We will never know 99% of the time the outcome of that call.
The difficulties that come with being a telecommunicator are often shadowed by those of other first responders. Most people are aware of firefighters being associated with red and police officers with blue, but the significance of the thin gold line is anything but small to these dispatchers.
Dispatchers go above and beyond. We're the first line of defense. When you're in crisis, we're the first people you talk to. We're the ones that are gathering the information for the first responders, not only to help the caller, but also to paint the picture of what's going on at that scene for the first responders.
The color gold is the thin gold line, so it's the glue that holds it all together. So you'll often see that the police officers, their color is blue, fire is red, and we're the thin gold line that holds that public safety team together.
I've heard police officers and firefighters tell us that they can't do their jobs without us. So to me, the gold thin line is the glue. We hold everybody together, we coordinate everything.
The hard work of public safety telecommunicators do not go unnoticed here at the Holbrook Regional Emergency Communication Center, as much is done to honor and celebrate their efforts.
It depends on the department. We're very fortunate to have Director Hook and Deputy Milky, who have always promoted this to the dispatchers, showed their appreciation to reward the dispatchers for their hard work 365 days a year.
We have everybody participate in gifts, changing gifts, getting just award them with things and show the appreciation of their job, what they do.
We're the unseen heroes, the first responders, and it's great that this is being done to bring, awareness to the public that we are human people behind the scenes and on the phone. And I just think it's a great way to educate the public on what we actually do.
This week, honoring public safety telecommunicators is one that lacks recognition, but that does not diminish the importance of the profession. So much more goes into being a telecommunicator than what is known by the general public. Next time you think to thank your first responders, be sure to remember the ones that pick up the phone in times of distress. This has been Dalis Rodriguez-Vieira with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Dallas and Nick. The parent group will have a school store open during lunch today. Stop by to check it out.
Speaking of parents, today we have a special guest reporter, Bridget Mullally. She interviewed both Mrs. Welch and Mrs. Thompson about their experiences with their children, who both have autism. With this, we hope to shed more light on the kinds of lifestyles these wonderful children have, and what their parents do to nurture them.
Lots of kids have autism. That means their brains just work differently than other kids. In fact, in the U.S. alone, 1 in 4,400 kids are diagnosed with autism or have autism. I'm interviewing 2 teachers who not only know kids that do have autism, but their sons do have autism. So we're going to talk to them and find out what their life is with a kid with autism. So I hear you both have young boys who are autistic, right?
That is correct. Yep, that's true.
Okay, so what do you think are the main struggles with having a kid with autism?
Well, I think the hardest thing for me is that since he's an only child and I had him, I'm trying to think. Let me think. So basically, I didn't have any other children. So Timmy was my first and my only child. So when he didn't reach his milestones, I didn't really know what to expect or if there was something different. But then I started to notice after he was about a year old that he was regressing in some of the things he did. Like he stopped talking, he stopped waving, he would start to flap or stim, as we like to call it. So at 18 months, he was diagnosed with autism.
Same as what Ms. Thompson said. He did not speak until he was about 4.5 years old. He initially was waving. He could say hi, and then he lost all language, and then he didn't talk until 4.5. He used to talk in only syllables. Now the challenges that we have for him are he gets angry and frustrated very easily. And because he doesn't know how to handle that anger, that frustration, he lashes out at others and hurts himself sometimes too. He doesn't really do very well in social situations. He doesn't understand social cues. So a lot of times the way that he'll socialize is he'll mimic what other people are doing or he'll copy them.
Like any positive effects for your kids of having autism?
Definitely. So what makes Timmy unique is his autism. And I mean, he's amazing. I wouldn't change a thing about him. He, you know, some people may look at him differently when he stims or when he keeps repeating the same behavior or walks on his tippy toes. But I mean, I've learned so much from him and I know he's going to do great in life. Honestly feel like it's sort of a blessing in disguise when we got his diagnosis, because at first you're a little upset or concerned because you don't really know why he has it. But at the same time, it's just, I mean, it's been amazing for us as a family. You know, we get to see him grow and he's succeeding and he just wants to be accepted like everybody else.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of positives. I think it's so interesting watching how his outlook on life. He solves problems. Like, you can see him processing and figuring out things that, like, a lot of times I can't figure out. He is the absolute most lovable, best cuddler in the world.
Same
yeah,
here.
yeah. He, you know, we've always looked at him as being a blessing. We have learned so much from him. I wouldn't change him for the world. Everybody knows he's my little man. I know the autistic community, they feel that, okay, everyone's aware now about autism, but now we need to teach acceptance, and I think that that's the key, as Ms. Thompson said.
A lot of kids have autism, but it's good to be accepted if you do have autism. This is Bridget Mullally of Cobble News. Back to you in the studio.
Great job, girl.
Thank you, Bridget. That wraps up this week's show. I'm Cameron Forbes.
And I'm Joseph McLaughlin. See you after break.